Hello. Hello. It's always exciting. There's always something new. It's always cameras. So again, thank you guys for being here. Happy Valentine's Day, or the happy Friday before Valentine's Day. Before we get started, we have 11 poets tonight, so I'm going to speak a little quickly so we can fit everybody in. Plus, we have a very special surprise at the end. So don't go anywhere. And we have a wonderful lineup as well. Remember to check our calendars. Go on to smartphonetheater.com. Go onto the website. Hit the bottom of it. We have our calendar. We'll always tell you what's coming up. So remember to check on the calendar, see what's going on, seeing what's new, and make sure you tune in and register ahead of time so you can dial in. Also, we have donate now links all over the website. So please support us. Thank you to those who continue to support us, and we really, really appreciate it. But thank you. But if you haven't and you're inclined, please do. We would love it because we certainly need you. I tell you what, I'm going to introduce to you tonight's poets. So first we have Kevin Kelly. I'm going to turn on your camera, Kevin. So Kevin, come on down. So Kevin, if you turn on your camera, there you go. Hello, Kevin. Then we have Buffy Shutt. Thank you. Elaine Madsen. And Michael Cavanaugh. Hannah Logan. Mr. Smokey Miles. Smokey, join us. Hit that video button. Hello, so there we go. And there's my list. And Shirley Sniderman. I think Shirley was next. And then we have Devon O'Brien. Hello, Devon. And then Joe Walsh. And Joseph Walsh, I want to say. And David Andrews. And then Poetri. Fantastic. All right, guys, for everybody in the audience, just sit back and enjoy. We have a wonderful group here. And we're going to start off with Kevin Kelly.
How you doing? Happy Valentine's, pre-Valentine's Day. I'm going to connect you from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean in a couple of poems/songs of mine. Coney Island Angel, you're my Coney Island girl. We strolled a Coney Island boardwalk. Joanne, I am yours. Oh, this freak show biz has got me worried. Yes. Greenhouse affects you too. Woo woo. We watched the Puerto Rican boys dive gracefully into the sea as that goofy Irish boy with his skinny light white legs jumps, holding on to his funny nose. Look, you see an old grizzly black man just sitting there smiling at us as he's humming to himself. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look out! The cyclone's got us screaming as I hold so close to your side. The seagulls fly in the warm summer sky. The sirens wail and cry as the A-train rumbles on by. As the fat man guards his belly and his Nathan hot dog stand sign, and the hairy ape in the cage and the snake lady in the shade wave to us as we ride on by so high. I look at your eyes, Joanne, and I see the sunburn and holes in those two big, beautiful eyes like the sky. Coney Island Angel, you're my Coney Island girl. We stroll the Coney Island boardwalk. Joanne, I am yours. Now you unlace the white ribbons on your pink Converse sneaks. You take off down the runaway and descend as mommy's wonder child of the beach. You twix, you shake, you swing, you roll, you skip, you trip, you flip. Your little sweet feet meet the ocean. Now your blue jeans are soaking wet. Oh, Joe, your hair's so messy. Was it blowing in the wind? Well, like my fire was born to be wild, and yet, darling, you was born to run. Imagine this land is your man. Oh, man, Joanne, I got a chance to love someone else again. We're right here, right now, just you and me. The sand we dance, the one-man band, without a sand. There's all the seagulls land, pecking heads and empty garbage cans. Coney Island Angel, you're my Coney Island girl. We stroll the Coney Island boardwalk. Joanne, I am yours, right down to the razor's edge of this dirty, poor Coney Island shore. Song called Melody. On the coast of California, on a hill looking out over the sea, a hummingbird lands on my shoulders and whispers, I am your melody. I tell her I'm too old for her, but she ain't too young for me. Then I closed my eyes and she was gone, but she left this melody. The times are tough, and lines are long, and jobs are few and far between. I mean, everybody's buying, nobody's buying, or selling anything these days, and everybody's hurting. So who cares about a love song? Who cares about a dream? If you close your eyes and get inside, you just might find your very own melody. She runs right through me. She cuts to the bone. I can hear her in the distance as Pacific coast winds blow. And yes, she'll kick up, but then she'll settle down. And as the waves roll up on the shore, I can hear her calling me now. Come. Come back to me. Come back to me. Come back, baby. Come back to me. Sunrise, sunset, the moon rise and the stars shine, another day disappears. I'll forget about her, man. I'll forget that she was even here. But I will climb that hill again to look out over the sea. When that hummingbird returns, together we'll hum our melody. She runs right through me. She cuts to the bone. I can hear her in the distance as Pacific coast winds blow. And yes, she'll kick up, but then she'll settle down. And as the waves roll up on the shore, I can hear her calling me now. Melody, melody, melody. Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to read 2 poems. The Drinking Game. Come on, wear the mask to bed. He looks at me like I'm crazy. It'll be fun, sexy, sex us up. I don't say please. I sway, letting my tongue hang out over the mask. My stomach hangs out, a 10-pound nerve ending since March. I am crazy, no like about it. The COVID has made him more masculine. It's the name mostly. Not soft like Saddle Shoe or Swan. He reads books on his Kindle, masculine books. David Foster Wallace, Philip Gurevich, Coates, Nichols, Bruce, Kendi, dueling bellow bios. At night, the Kindle spreads a funnel of not quite white light. Who is Wittgenstein again? I start a drinking game. He looks at me like I'm crazy. The game is simple. Name 3 people who mean a lot to you, or did a lot for you, or you admire, or you wish you were. Name 3 people fast, a shot. Do it again. With each shot, I jerked the glass up and I squeezed men's name between finger and thumb. They fly off my tongue, fast gnats around spoiling fruit. I wipe my mouth, a wine-dark sea. He rolls his eyes up to the ceiling, pretending to consider his names. He's thinking about sex later. Slams down a few names like mine, great or good or just men. 2 kids in another room, one unemployed, the other a remote truant. A blue light ghosts out their door. They sleep all day, up all night. I've forgotten their names. 2 boys. As soon as this virus is at heel, I will go out for organic supplies. Milk, bread, earphones, weed, and I won't go back. I'll walk myself across the country. I will walk myself young again and meet the women who will knock my socks off. Marital vows. I eat our marriage for lunch. I hang this marriage in a birdhouse, suddenly too high. I stuff cotton up my nose to kill the odor of this marriage. I strangle this marriage by holding my breath. I hear the sound of the marriage motor turning off, little by little, shuddering, and it goes silent. I put the tip of my tongue in your pocket. You take it to work, and I wait for you to bring it back home tonight. Thank you.
I'm going to read 3 things tonight. The first one is called The Music Man. My body was a monotone that spoke just to itself. The notes I had forgotten were turning into stone. I'd hidden in my mind the key with which to sing. The music man knew where it was. The rhythm of his body grew notes where there were none. I learned to play duets, and we wrote the orchestration for a symphony that only we could play. This one is called Trilogy. A sound held its breath and touched the air, then shattered into pieces, of which you made a melody to play inside my silence. The fabric of our passion is spun of incandescence. We celebrate its claret hymn inside its saffron bloom, suspended in a cameo of passion's intermission. Enclosed in the sanctuary of resplendent detunescence, I feel as if you are my pulse come coursing through my veins. My limbs are simply half of yours. In consummate communion. This is a Valentine to my husband. We find the splendor of nature's autumn tones coloring our daily lives in the peaceful gold of quiet mornings, the crisp golden snap of discovery in a newly opened idea, or in old music refreshed. And always there is the ready laughter inspired by your wit. The deep russet hues of our intimacy infuse the velvety wine of our love, burnished by the countless moments of listening, touching, and caring in which we wrap our days. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michael Cavanaugh. The name of my piece and the piece itself is short and sweet. But because it's more than 17 syllables, I can't call it a haiku. So instead of calling it a haiku, I just call it a hello ku. Okay, here we go. Short and sweet. 0214, the same date every year. Flowers, cards, and candy. Happy Valentine's Day, my dear. And also happy almost birthday to my wife, the wonderful, beautiful Ms. Martha Lambert, rock star school teacher, 4th grade. Teaching at home, teaching online, and that ain't fine. But I gotta say, that's okay, because when someone asks, hey, Martha, hey, Michael, how you doing? We can say every day, still standing. Thanks for asking. Glad to see that you're still standing too. And so, 0214, you know what I mean. Happy Valentine's Day, dear. That is a haiku. Domo arigato gozaimasu.
This is Oh, the Places We Go, a romance beyond our wildest dreams. We start out still small, fresh hands, soft and chubby. Life's a baby kitten, happy dance, curled up comfy, not yet in big kid pants. Pull off your mittens on a good day. Drink cocoa, toast s'mores, every day's for, well, unless your childhood was for shit. But then with daydreaming, we just go like this: teddy berry, goddess, perfect fairy mother, leave it to beaver. My other life dad would never leave her. And days are grubby, grassy, dirty, nail playing, time high flying on fantasy ships of, well then, from our determined lips we say, when I have kids, when I'm grown, when I'm big, when I can walk and run and punch and scream, fight back, when I get through this, I know what I'll do. No kid of mine will have a childhood they miss. So we're 4 or 5 with our fuzzy blankie perfect bow or tie, a chocolate mustache lip, pony parties with princes or princesses, perhaps future tellers that tell us we too are destined to be royalty. We live a little kid magical miracle life. Or perhaps we are at a Smokey party and the man with the mustache says we look like a prince or princess, and with his funny hat, he looks like a king. But our tummy has a funny feeling, and he says, don't tell now. We won't remember a thing. But that was 4. Now we're 8. And there's so much to do: movies, Disneyland, water park, zoo, or the hippos we see are just crackers that break our 8-year-old hearts because they're what's for breakfast. Mom is tired, walk to school, play by ourselves at the park. Home is comfort, or it's mobile and dark, or lively with maids and home theaters, or dead like a tomb. Regardless, there's first love in blissful homeroom. There's that girl or that boy or that teacher, and we're swooning. Camilla, Kyle, Charles, Patricia, Paul, maybe it's Noonan? Whatever their name, palms sweaty, our heart pounds for Lou or Lulu. Each day their face plays in our minds like binge watching Hulu. And this is no different, whether home is a den of despair or castles made of candy and kindness for Cindy or Carl or Miss Campbell. To us is your grace, the finest, most beautiful, handsome soulmate. To be sure, our hearts pure. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, many of us enjoy a sweet, horrifying madness like Romeo, Juliet, on into teen years, the torture, the sadness, pimples, changing voices, random hair sprouting, hormones, bad choices. Now we love, now we hate, try to control our sexual instincts. That's too late. But now, junior high, we're 13, 14, 15, 16. The world's our oyster. We can reinvent ourselves. Some of us made total monks by it, others wild nuns uncloistered. Terrified or titillated, we run toward or away from the hormones that fly at, pump through, accost us, smack us hard in our clearasil faces. We pull our shoelaces tight, those Adidas, Nike stiletto, those we won't let go, secondhand, worn out, made fun of shoes as we pass through this terrifying terrain, try to find our homies, our posse, our peeps, those who feel us, get us, will let us just be. Maybe our mommy and daddy give us that $3,000 purse at Christmas or birthday or Hanukkah, but even if we get nothing, we all just want to get a high five and a tribe that gets our jokes, keeps us company when we cry, lies to us when needed to get by. Till, hey, college, maybe we're Ivy, community tech, or shit, we're pregnant. Damn, it's just that school was so hard, or maybe a job that's just, steady. And Eddie, he's, solid. We couldn't afford college anyway, so gotta make dough. Or he comes from a good family, good stock, and biological clock ticking too. Or we didn't really ever want a guy or a girl anyway, we say. We were all about books or sports, art, music. We got a thing. We're working out a plan. Just need a hand. We dye our hair, lose weight, hire a personal trainer, life coach, tattoo artist. Where did the time go? Where's my money, motivation, my hope, my kids? No, this can't be my life. So now, no longer fresh hands. We reach for a bottle. Expensive or cheap, we reach. It's glass with liquid, or it's plastic with pills, hoping it kills memories of our losing ourselves, our pony parties, our hope to be princes or princesses, trying to drown a memory of an evil king too, because that thing we couldn't remember, it starts to peek through. All hope lost, misunderstood, lost in wilderness, lost forever in woods of hopelessness. Nothing of us left that is good. Then we walk one day in a room that is quiet with no music to dance, wearing the last shred of our big kid pants. We see that boy or that girl we thought was so unlike us, so far away from our world on the outside, so different and dissimilar. And now something about them, in their eyes, we see a something familiar. That invisible no one with nothing we shared. Now we sit humbled, brought to our knees there, desperate, having lost the romance of life, clinging to the same life raft in waters uncharted, hoping for a life beyond our wildest dreams, better than the nightmare we started. We stumble in. So by life are we throttled, our life shattered by a romance with the bottle. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm in a religious phase here, so I will like to talk about the first couple, Mr. Adam and Mrs. Eve. Here we go. Let's see, I'll put these on. The first man looked at the rib girl, who was ripped right from his chest. He said, You look cute in your birthday suit, and I really do dig your breasts. Then he palindromed, Madam, I'm Adam. She said, I'm Eve, please don't leave. And soon they got up and at 'em and reproduced like you wouldn't believe. Next thing you know, a talking snake comes slithering down a tree. He says, listen to me, honey. This may sound funny. This fruit'll teach you about the birds and the bees. So she ate of it and kind of liked the flavor, though it tasted just a little bit tart. He took a bite, said, I like, and it made both of them real smart. But the old god was getting angry. I told you not to chew on that stuff. You'll have to find a finer fashion designer, 'cause that nudity ain't gonna be enough. So they cut down some nice fig leaves. Eve said, you live in your loin. But Adam was pissed, 'cause he was missing his miss, walking round with an uncovered groin. What am I gonna do about you? Asked Adam when they made pillow talk. You better behave, said Eve, or I'll say me too, and you'll end up taking the perp walk. So Adam tried to cool it and behave just like a mensch. But he thought his gig was to be a chauvinist pig, so Eve made him sit on the bench. As punishment for his wayward ways, Adam was made to suffer and spend eternity in a haze, and Eve had it even rougher. She screamed and howled when she gave birth and was endowed with lots of feelings. And while Adam roamed freely upon the earth, poor Eve often hit the glass ceiling. Their descendants came, their descendants went. They made rockets and landed on the moon. They wrote books, some were crooks, some paid rent, and some sang pleasing tunes. But Adam and Eve were simple folk, till from that apple they did munch. And God must still be writing man. They push, they control, they scorch the globe. They kill animals and eat them. So many of them are some kind of phobe. They take fellow humans, slay them, and beat them. It's sad how they're turning that garden from a paradise to a trash bin, without so much as an I beg your pardon, or admitting that that's some kind of sin. Well, Adam and Eve had it pretty good. They had everything they did require. They lived in a real nice neighborhood until they got overcome by desire. But looking back, how could they change any aspect of their life? Maybe it was all prearranged, a little peace, a little strife. If you think about it, perhaps these two were really Neanderthals, kind of proto-humans who made pictures on cave walls. A couple of primate savages with grudges and pet peeves, chomping on raw meat and cabbages. Our ancestors, Adam and Eve. Thank you too much.
I'm going to be reading 5 pieces of love. The gift. I'm giving you a special gift. You may not know you need it, but place it safely, tucked away. You may savor it with greed. My gift is nothing tangible. You cannot see or mold it. But when you sense its usefulness, I know you'll dearly hold it. I'm giving you a gift of friendship, a gift we could be sharing. You'll never feel the loneliness with my special gift of caring. Cycles. Dawn breaks, dew glistens, cocks crow. Who listens? Workers stir, mothers rise, fathers leave, baby cries. Noon warms, midday high. Soon it cools and dusk is nigh. Supper's ready, families greet. Moon is full, days complete. Droopy eyes and sleepy faces, all to bed in their places. Night falls, under covers, sweet dreams amongst lovers. Night noise, wolves bay, owls screech, cats play. Still dark, more sleep, baby's quiet, not a peep. Light sliver, perhaps the moon. Almost morn, I'll wake soon. Dawn breaks. The things that went on in my bedroom last week. Long and slender, full of power. I could watch it and touch it by the hour. I pressed the right buttons and felt such an urge. Once turned on, there was no stopping the surge. I switched back and forth. The tension was mounting. Nearing the climax, I could feel my heart pounding. And when it was over, I smiled with such glee. I watched NCIS on my flat screen TV. Even if, hold my hand and comfort me. This will make me smile. Touch my face with your warm lips, even if it's only for a while. Tell me about adventures you've had, how you've traveled high in style. Fill me with your fabled tales, even if it's only for a while. Sing your song so brightly, bring me closer to your guile. Let me be a part of your schemes, even if it's just for a while. And before you leave for newer versions and set out for another trial, one last kiss that will last forever, even if it's only for a while. And the last piece I wrote when we celebrated our 60th wedding anniversary, Through the Years. Through the years, mid laughter and tears, love endures. Filled with dreams and hopes and fears, love endures. Stay the course, be open and true. Follow the plan, be open to new. Continue to embrace the life you hold dear. Love endures. Thank you.
I'm going to read a few poems. The first one is called Hymns. What hymn? What hymn? The best reason to write hymns are hymns. With no hymns, I've no reason to write rhymes. Without a you to stew over, the hue of your eye to hunger for, the timbre of your voice to feel joy for, your glance captured in a jar to take home with me in the car and study alone later at home over and make moan. There were years of half-remembered evenings, of messy nights, the sting, the stain of morning, messy mornings. What nights, when darkness increased the thrills, each shade graded with meeting, the looks, the breath, his beat. I've recovered. Last night, affixed to night's black blanket, the full moon, and apart, Jupiter gleamed, that inch, that immensity. I misuse, but use derail me from life. You steal my days, and gift with nights. Life without use isn't possible. I'd be off course, of course. I'd steer into trees. I'd lose my clothes in the breeze. I'd be counting by threes. I'd be laughing and loving. It would be dangerous for me. Before long, I'd be alone, you know. I'm my own worst foe, you know, but I'd have poems and poems to show. I know. This poem is called Three Times. You were the cure for me, only you would do. But first there was the undoing to be done, and you did it 3 times. It was easy for you. There was a whole me, only it was negligible, like a new moon, while the hole in me was huge and you knew it 3 times. It didn't matter that I didn't. The point of you was to obliterate me. It didn't happen, of course, but how you tried 3 times. Leaving your bed was dreadful. No stick, no strings, no smear of semen even. The bedspread without a wrinkle. When I left you, I was left to me 3 times. It was unspoken that it didn't happen. I rolled away, all the windows shut tight downhill from your home 3 times. Still, I want you. Any you will do, does. I'll never be done. What is the point of me, this acheable, unshakable thing I'm left with every time? Now I'm going to read 2 sonnets. The first one is called One. What trickery last night in consciousness that those dead thous did stir inside my head and muddle morning thoughts of him and him and him long since buried. What sorcery makes shadows twitch and rise, walk and talk and lended to them substance to cause such showers in my morning eyes that sadly learn before their absence? Why trouble me? Why bring to light visions, the former richness of my former life, and show up with that forgotten feast, my hunger, my heart's endured poverty? I disdain this savvy, savory witchcraft, but feast on fumes of an old repast. One more sonnet. This is called number 2. There is a lover waiting in my bed. His breath is sweet, his lips thirsty for mine. His limbs are long, fine, happy to entwine. Alas, he's not the lover in my head. There is a lover waiting in my bed. He's tucked within the space between warm sheets. His eyes are open, an invitation make. A look of mine would mean I would partake, get bare, and join him there to make sweet heat. The room is chaos and does indicate the mess of passion would be welcome here. Alas, I look away. I do not cinch with a glance all that would happen here. How sad to neigh a cozy, sexy bed, to be true to the lover in my head. Thank you.
I have 4 poems here to share with you. First is called Going. I want to write poems, erotic of her, but I'm too tired. My mind a screen, my heart not good, all jumpy and stomach, about to descend a cliff. When did I have such trouble spelling or forgetting such things as who did I attend the movie with last night? But I remember moss, the beach forest, days of rest, the window to the street lit by the old-fashioned lamp, the mess. I'll do the laundry, let you rest. I'll make the bacon and coffee and leave your curtains alone, half shut, half off the rings. Oh, the drop on your lip, peach, and your skin, cedar. I don't know how long now I've swum goggle-eyed through these dark greens and blues, breathing only water. Stop counting, I count so I don't forget. The moss, the beach forest, rest, the flowing grain of wood, all of it. This one's called The Spider. The light outside was glassine under the eaves that shook like paper. I swallowed and swam behind the curtains of sunlight, hiding from the motes. Dry was the dust on my tongue, and I was tired near the spider, who fled with ragged grace. The thoughts were curling in the smoke as I dozed. It wasn't early, and there would be time for the swaying river, flowers, crawling things, and the jumping line of the gnat. You brought the mat of bright grass, smiled, lost in your web, and I did well to reach you. I believed in the eyes and the trees that followed us. He was the blue, we were the green, sticky was the way of the light and the honey and the darkness and the places we were led. This one's called Santa Lucia. Going along, the table appears, the bottle, the water, fizzy. There is no cap, not what I'm used to. Not that I've never not drank it all. But inside I balk and accept, ask for lemons and wait. Too long, I think. There I sit, the bottle uncapped, defizzying as I write. I cannot see it deflate, but know it is flattening. The label shows a girl drinking from a Roman fountain, stone spout and basin. She's garbed in some medieval garb, dark hair tied with blue cloth tiara. Perhaps she's a peasant. Santa Lucia Fonti Storiche, 1894, from the source of Flaminia. I will have to look that up, and I will. Product of Italy. Is she Santa Lucia, reaching on tiptoes over a fountain basin, pursed lips more like kissing than drinking from the flow, and the water there quietly flattening? I've still not poured or sipped. Lemons lank lying in the cup, me lying only a little as I make this up. And this one doesn't have a title. The birds are busy knitting the morning with their song. I know you speaking in your bird tongue, feathers ruffled, eyes specked pebbles, telling me to be still. Tell me the story again about how the sun came up and woke us drowsy in the field of the groves, leaning toward the water, leaves shimmering silver to black. Sitting there in the branches, cooing alone, how magnificent your simplicity, nestling into yourself. What do you feel there in your feathers, your pure white plumage, your silver and gray? Are you tired of that struggling wind? You used to pick up twigs, pieces of fluff and twine. There was almost nothing you left behind. Is it the same for you that the time seems to move so slow? When it isn't moving so fast, it's moving so slow. With no pond, no porch, no fountain flowing with seed, neither springtime or summer, is there nothing you need? How should I write of my love, wordless as the birds are brave, or this tender, galling thing? Thank you.
Good evening. Waiting moon. 3 women waiting for one man, waiting for one woman. The desert mist distills the moon's promise of fulfillment. Twilight. How sweet and absolute my memory of you, slowly drifting to a gentle sleep, knowing I am seen, arms holding something so sheer, beautifully, utterly clear, that in this twilight of memory, the snow-laden pine bows in reverent supplication. Lullaby. Kisses of old break the heart anew. It shifts to let it rise from the very center, to rock so sweetly, this lullaby for a baby blue. Invitation to a wooden bowl. We have been to this place many times before. Round and round we've danced, swirling amidst a chorus of cries for fairness, papering the holes of our fragile, ghostly things, well-hammered fables of fear. The other awaits, vast, indivisible, boundless, falling in and floating through this abyss of freedom. I sail home. Thank you.
Hello. She says I don't write poems about her like I used to. I tell her that's because I don't like her as much as I used to. She raises her hand to slap me, but I'm fast like a fat Superman and dodge and elaborate. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Back in the day when I used to like you, I wrote poems that would adequately describe my like feelings. Since my like has grown to something that has surpassed all understanding, something that has endured spasms, joys, stiffness, new discoveries, hard times and broke times, a feeling that has stood up and a feeling that has sat down, a passion that has taught me so much about Yahuwah, about patience, about music, about colors, about numbers, a devotion that has been my teacher as well as my student. This type of thing doesn't have the vocabulary to describe it. And when I write a poem, I want it to be perfect, just like you, just like us, just like this thing we have. I just can't sit down and write a poem about you like I used to, because I don't like you like I used to. I love you. That's not even a word I want to use, but for the sake of me explaining, let me use it. I love you in a way that is new to me every second. And every day I'm still learning new ways to make you smile. I sit down to write, but no words come out. So while poems alone were sufficient back then, this type of love demands more. Love is priceless or poemless. She says that doesn't make sense. Okay. I tell her, look at this way. Instead of one poem, know that every poem I write has a little bit of you in it. I tell her every moment I'm thinking about her. The only time I'm not thinking about her is never. Every poem I write starts and ends with love. And since you are the one I love, every poem kind of sort of has a little bit of you in it. She says, forget that. She wants a whole poem right now with her name and her likeness. I told her, I want $1 million, a house on the beach, and a Mercedes AMG SUV. And actually, at the time, I was hungry, so I told her I wanted a gourmet paleo meal with dairy-free, sugar-free apple pie, but I never can seem to find those. Joanne, my wife, my life, my light, this is your poem. Just know that it doesn't say all that I want to say, and because I can't put together the metaphors. This type of love doesn't always rhyme. It's not always pretty, but this is it. This is me cooking you food to fill your stomach. This is me carrying you wherever you need to go, taking you to random places just so we can sit and laugh and tie to strangers. This is me sitting in front of you while you're in the toilet seat as we talk about everything that went on that day. That sounds nasty, but it is what it is. This is us playing fire fan together. This is you having to eat the only things I know how to cook, which isn't much, but it's cooked with love. So I pray it tastes good. This is surprising me every day with a different gift from Amazon. This is you telling me how to dress because I'm looking wrinkled and uncoordinated most days. This is you telling me how much you love my beard. This is you helping our children with their homework because you have a master's degree and I know nothing about math. I am your poem. Don't you understand that our life is the poem? We are the poem. She says, see? I say, what? This is all I wanted. Poems is what you do. Yahuwah gave us this gift to use. Your poems are a gift to others. They are like roses. Men never want to buy flowers because they always want to give more, but flowers always make me feel good. She says my poems make her feel good. She doesn't care if it adequately describes our love. She just wants it written down and spoken aloud a few hundred times a week. She just wants to feel love. She wants my flowers, like I used to give them to her, surprising her with them taped in the bathroom mirror. That's all. A poem full of flowers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'll read a poem called Valentine's Day. A day for those of an early age. It means something to the young, and yes, it means something to be young. Cynical and realistic are just words given too often and too frequently as answers to life's unhappy questions. Valentine's Day offers a fresh start to a day, a week, or more. The world is made up of molecules and atoms, and so it is with happiness. This too is made up of small things. Love must be available and should be given and received daily. Why the exception and not the rule? In the dark, lonely month of February 14th holds out warm and welcoming arms of expressions, words and thoughts in the package of winter reticence. Be mine, be my Valentine, won't you? Little insignificant, seeming dime store words from the 5 and 10, from Woolworths. Would you please be my Valentine? The expression of secret wishes and secret desires from God's yet ingenious people. Young girls in grade school yearning for a place in someone else's world beyond their own, buried in child's play. Is what appears to be. Could this be baby steps of the first robin of the feminist spring?
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you. You're welcome. Enjoyed everything.
Fantastic. All right. So, you know what? Let's just, if anybody has any questions or just wants to say hello or happy Valentine's Day, please raise your hand. Gina Costa is absolutely the first person. And it's so great to see you and hear you. So,
hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, happy Valentine's Day weekend, everyone. Again, as was the previous poetry evening, being from a self-prescribed poetry phobe, once again, it was absolutely wonderful and it was just great. It was just so wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I have to say, with Kevin's piece, with such joy and just effervescence leaping out of the screen from Kevin was awesome. Yes, thank you, Kevin. And just, it was such a beautiful treat. And one thing that was so touching that I don't know if I guess you guys saw it, but when Stephen came on and started reading, we were still in gallery. So I could see everyone responding to Stephen's Valentine's poem. And it was so beautiful to watch each of the poets' faces just open and give over to Stephen's poem for a moment. It was great. I felt like I was in an audience and not by myself. So that was just a wonderful little feature. But everyone, thank you. You made my Friday. Thank you. And I have to say, I didn't know if it would get much better, because I actually saw two of my most beloved human beings in person today. I hardly ever see human beings, but then I got to see this and hear this. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you, Gina.
A lot of love to you too. So I have one question before we get going, before we call it a night. So tonight, for me, it seems that the pieces were more personal than our first poetry night. And I want to, and maybe I'm wrong, but some of these stories were such intimate, revealing stories. Does anybody want to comment on that? And I'm very curious. I'm curious if poetry. So Shirley, go for it.
Because Valentine's Day is very personal and it is very intimate, however you celebrate it. It's a different kind of love because you're honoring love and everyone wants to find their way to do it. And I think every poet today did. They found their way to show us how much they love.
Right. I mean, it was very moving. For me, just as an audience member, it was enormously moving. It had me, and I think what Gina talked about really had us riveted to the screen and just listening to every word. It was quite beautiful.
And quite visual. I was able to find the birds that
good
was talking about, and yeah.
Very, very good.
Very good. Yeah.
That's great. Lisa Robbins.
I can't resist the opportunity to just say happy Valentine's Day to you all. And thank you so much. I'm not much of a poetry person either, like Gina. And this was truly some of the most beautiful poetry I've ever heard. And you all look so beautiful in your red, and mostly except for Stephen. But I loved each and every one of them. So thank you so much for putting me in the spirit. I just so appreciate it, and much love to you all.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks, Lise. All right, guys, we've gone a little over the hour. I am happy to go a little bit longer if anybody has any questions. Otherwise, yes, David, go for it.
I got to say,
you go. Yeah.
Let's go to David.
I haven't seen Stephen in about 35 years ago. I think once, but we did a play in New York together. So,
hey, David, who?
David Andrews.
David Andrews.
Which play did you, David? Which play did you do in New York?
We did Fool for Love.
Fool for Love.
David Andrews, for goodness sake. And we did it for quite a while, didn't we? Huh? And we had some pretty good times with it, didn't we? Huh?
8 months of it, yeah.
I was wondering if it was going to be you, the David Robin, the one I know. And, yeah, and there he is.
Yeah.
Hey, that's great. I'd like to see you someday, but anyway, off stage or whatever. But I thought these were vast in their variety, and they were deep, and they were gentle, and they were profound, and they were interesting, all of them. And like you say, the fact that that they're very personal is such a refreshing thing in this particular stage of the game here. I feel there's so much alienation abroad. So I just think it's wonderful. Really, this was a hell of a good idea.
Thanks, Steve.
From everybody. I just enjoyed listening to every single person. And
likewise, we're so happy to have you. So, all right. So to everyone on our panel, all of our poets, thank you for such a beautiful evening. I'm going to send you guys a quick link just so we could say, do a little toast to everybody. So we could have a little 5 minutes of congratulations and happy Valentine's Day. So check your emails in about 2 minutes. And otherwise, to our audience, keep checking our calendar and we'll let you know what's coming up in the next week or so. And again, you guys, really, what a beautiful night. So thank you guys so much for making this happen. So,
thank you for making it happen.
All right. Thank you, guys. Okay, everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you soon. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Happy Valentine's Day.